Howdy, I'm Mike Lasasso, the founder of Frisco Emergency Pet Care. I'd like to talk a little bit to you now about the externship program we have here. We've had a few students, three that have gone through and done an externship with us, and we've actually hired all three of them. We do have a fourth, but that outcome has yet to be determined. Anyway, an externship is an opportunity for veterinary students to either see practice in an area that you don't have a lot of experience and would like to see what it's like, or maybe you already know you want to practice in emergency medicine and want to feel out and kind of figure out how our practice works and get that exposure to a lot of cases. I can tell you from my own personal experience, when I did my externship back in '93, I was in an equine practice in England, and as an American student, I was kind of the lowest of life forms and got the opportunity to watch people doing ultrasounds on ovaries, and that was not very fulfilling for me. It was fascinating to see another culture, and I learned a lot about other ways of doing things besides the A&M way, for better or worse. But I didn't really feel engaged and involved in the practice itself. We do things significantly differently, as you'll see with this interview with two of my doctors. The other thing that I would like to add that's a little bit different about our externship program, especially in the next couple of months, is that in our new facility, which will happen in spring of 2023, before anybody watching this is going to be doing an externship, we will actually have dedicated extern quarters within our hospital. So it doesn't matter what part of Texas you're coming from, or frankly that you're even coming from Texas. It doesn't matter to us. So if you're going to Tufts or you're going to Oregon State, we've got a spot for you to come and actually stay in hospital for a couple of weeks. So without further ado, I'd like to move on to the interviews I've got with these doctors that did externships with us before they came on full time. Dr. Coons.
Yes.
What year did you come and do an externship with us?
I did an externship in my 4th year at Oklahoma State.
Okay. And that was in 2020.
2021, right.
Right. Very good. You came from Oklahoma State. Why did you pick emergency medicine?
I did not know that I was interested in emergency medicine until the very beginning of my 4th year. It was something that I didn't have a lot of experience in. And so when I realized it was something that I was interested in, I tried to really immerse myself in it to make sure that it was something that I truly wanted to kind of take the jump in. And so that's why I decided to do an externship here at FEPC to really help me decide if it was what I wanted to do.
Okay, that makes sense. But you went to Oklahoma State.
Correct.
So why our hospital in particular?
So I was from this area, and I had wanted to kind of move back here, but I was playing with some of my options. And I actually had another externship fall through and found FEPC, and it was very easy to schedule my externship. They were very willing to have me here. And it was kind of an easy and just fell into place sort of thing.
Oh, well, chance certainly helps.
Right?
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your externship experience. What kind of mentorship, or how did you feel challenged, or did you just kind of shadow and sit and watch?
So the very first day, the very first minute I walked in, everybody was so welcoming. I immediately got to jump into rounds and talk through some cases with all the different doctors. They really did allow me to kind of get my hands dirty, be a part of some different procedures and really cool surgeries. But we also spent a lot of time sitting down and talking through some really interesting cases. I was asked a lot of questions and really kind of felt like I was learning every step of the way. But I never felt like I was being judged for not knowing the answers to things. They were there to support me and help me learn. And by the end of the 2 weeks, I was very certain that I had learned a lot, much more than I thought I would. And it really made me look at emergency medicine differently and made me realize it was something that I wanted to do.
Oh, good morning, Dr. Dane.
Good morning, Dr.
Let's talk about your externship experience with us while you were here. You did your externship with us, I believe, in 2021 as well?
Yeah, I did. I did do my externship December 2021, my senior most year of my time at Texas A&M Veterinary School. And the way that I actually came to do that externship was through finding Dr. Lasasso through the job and career fair at Texas A&M University. The pandemic had hit, and so we were doing everything online. And I just so happened to flag on the list of veterinary clinics that I wanted to talk to Frisco Emergency Pet Care, mostly because I was a local from this area and I had actually had an experience where my parents' dog came in for a GDV and spoken with Dr. Burnside at that point. And they left a really, really good impression on me. I was really impressed with their client communication from that point and decided to investigate a little further during the career fair by talking with Dr. Lasasso.
Okay. It certainly makes it easier that you went to high school right down the road from our hospital. So when you say local, you were in our backyard. But were you thinking about emergency already, or was it your folks' experience with a hospital that kind of led you down this path?
So it's kind of an interesting story. It's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I had my initial experience in emergency medicine as a technician. So I worked for several months at another clinic um, in Texas, Grayson County Animal Emergency Clinic. And that was my first experience with emergency that really stayed with me even prior to getting into veterinary school. In the time that I worked as a technician, I worked in day practice and found a love for exotics and wildlife animal medicine and truly believed that that was what I was going to specialize in because I love the problem solving and very patient centered aspect of that kind of medicine. But I did find myself coming back to emergency in that some of that is carried over. Some of those very difficult cases you also find in an emergency setting. And I enjoy the challenge that that presented me with. So while I was considering going into an internship sort of environment for wildlife, I decided to investigate emergency medicine because of that initial experience and because of the aspects of medicine that I really enjoyed from both of those.
Okay, it's an excellent answer. I think that students and even new veterinarians really fail to understand how wide open the opportunities are and how varied the aspects of medicine are. And you get set on one career track and then find that it gets derailed. That is a as an old my class in '93 was the first one to track, and I tracked equine, and I've been in small animal emergency for more than 20 years now. So I get it. Nobody realizes where this career is going to take them. Let's talk about the externship itself for a minute. Did you feel challenged as a student and as an upcoming doctor? Did you get to actually participate, or were you kind of sitting on the side and just watching everything?
The externship that I had with Frisco Emergency Pet Care was definitely not a sit on the sidelines type of experience. So from day one, I was able to examine essentially any patient I wanted to within the walls of this hospital and even go over those physical examination findings with the doctor who was with that patient and going through their own thought process. We were able to sit down and talk about not only physical exam findings, but differential diagnoses, next steps for investigating those further. And even beyond that, being a part of referral processes for specialty facilities. So even beyond the initial part of case handling, I was able to ask those questions that were really formative for my essentially upbringing into emergency medicine. I was also able to participate in the treatments and procedures. My very first enterotomy was at Frisco Emergency Pet Care with Dr. Lasasso, and I never thought that I would get that experience as a fourth year student on a client owned animal. being able to also participate in communications with clients, which is something that I do every single day here, was a really valuable experience for forming my overall impression of emergency medicine, but also just veterinary medicine in general.